Past my exit. Get it on. Bang it on. Get it on. So, I just went to the dentist, and so, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have been talking about how my teeth are just fucking rotting out of my head, and that, like, I need to get to the dentist. I tried to make an appointment in 2024, and then I accidentally missed that appointment. I made the appointment in, like, August. The appointment was for February of 2025, and I ended up not going to the appointment. And then I made this appointment that I just went to today. I made this appointment in probably September or October of 2025. And then, so I was waiting for this appointment for so long. So I have been thinking how my teeth are rotting and how I need to go to the dentist for 2 years. And it's been bothering me and whatever. I don't have a single fucking cavity in my mouth. Not one. Sorry. The AI determined that, in fact, I had one small cavity that started to develop but just went away. So, like, I don't know whether to believe that I have no cavities or not, because the dentist, the technician, took all my x-rays, and then the dentist came in and he, like, looked at my teeth. He had his little pick in his hand, but he didn't actually touch my teeth. You know how the dentist goes through and pokes into each one of your cavities to feel the snagging? He didn't do that, not once. He just counted them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then he said, okay, well, the computer says you don't have any cavities. What? Well, you see here on the screen, if there were any cavities, they'd be in red. How long have you been a practicing dentist? 1 year? Since AI came out? So you're telling me, I was like, huh, okay, all right. But he said, I mean, I looked at the x-rays too. My teeth really did look fucking great. They didn't show any fucking anything, but I could feel it. So what's this I'm feeling in my mouth? Why is it? What's that then? What's that then? What's that? That's not supposed to be clicking like something shouldn't be snagging when I lost my teeth. What's that then? Tell me what that is. And he's like, oh, well, that's your gums are receding. Your gums have receded, and that's just the spot. And I was like, it's jagged like that? I said that to him, and I was like, it's jagged like that? When it's your gum, it's not smooth? So, like, when your gums recede and the line where your enamel and the dentin meet, you're telling me that's jagged. So God made a jagged piece of bone that lives under the gum line? That's what you're saying? Because that just doesn't make fucking sense to me. I know that the enamel and the dentin meet in a tapered way. There's nothing under your gum line. If that was the case, when you touch your gum, it would push into that jagged line, and I would feel it at every other juncture. If that's the case, then the gum that actually is receded really far down, if that's the case, then explain to me why, where I can see the line of enamel and the actual dentin, because my fucking dentin is exposed here in the front because I had my lip pierced like an idiot when I was a teenager. And it rubbed away the gum right here on this tooth. And so explain to me why it's smooth here and it's not smooth on my molar. Anyway, so I have absolutely no cavities. The dentist said that we looked, and because I was being a little bit of a nitpicker about it, because I was just like in disbelief. Like I have been for the 2 years, been just like stressing out about my teeth because I'm so like my teeth are falling out of my head in my mind. But no, I have no cavities. There's no abscess happening at the root. There's no pockets. My teeth are truly on that. I could see the nerve. I do have some plaque buildup between my teeth, but that's it. Not very much, very little plaque. He said, I told him, I was like, I don't like have, that guy almost just fucking hit me. Anyway, I don't remember what I was going to say now, damn it. I don't understand. Anyways, guess what? I'm going to get braces. The dentist told me that because the roots of my teeth, like, I mean, I believe him on this because I know what a fucking x-ray looks like. My teeth look very healthy on the x-ray. They do. So, like, where it matters, the foundation is strong. And that means that I can get my fucking jaw fixed. Because I have, like, a really, really intense overbite. Like, you can't see my bottom teeth. So the dentist said, he's like, yeah, I actually think you would get some relief if you got braces and we move your jaw forward a little bit. And also they want to clip my tongue tie. Oh, I'm so excited, dude. My dreams are fucking coming true right now. I'm going to get braces, dude. I'm so excited. Ow, my eye. Anyway, thank God. I was really worried that I like went and lived out in the woods and like was malnourished and like abused and like experienced all this like trauma from so many different places while I was simultaneously like I'm in survival mode, starving, malnourished, dehydrated. And in spite of all of that, somehow my teeth are still fine. Like I am, how? Like, how? So if I don't have cavities, then what is that? Then why does my, like, I don't know, dude. I just don't know how to believe this guy. I thought I had a huge fucking hole in the side of this tooth. But the dentist said, no, that's a filling, an old filling. Okay. So I have no cavities below the gum line. Why does my fucking teeth hurt? He did that thing where I was like, yeah, like, so the gum line's receding or whatever. It's not like, is this like normal? And he's like, yeah, for your age, it is normal. Am I supposed to turn here? I'm winging it on how to get home today. Not using the GPS. I like can't believe this. Like I want to believe it. I want to believe that I'm going the wrong way, I think. I want to believe this. I want to believe that my teeth are like perfectly healthy. I am going the right way, yes. But at the same time, are you telling me that a dentist does nothing and his job is now being filled through AI? Okay. I think I'm going to be delusional and believe him. I can't believe this. I'm going to get that remineralizing toothpaste now. And I'm going to use I use this stick. I might have one around here somewhere. But I like to use those sticks to brush my teeth. I cannot believe that I'm 42 years old and I don't have any cavities. It just kind of pisses me off because I was really excited about like the pain going away and like finding a solution. So it's like, okay, my teeth don't have any cavities, and why does this one hurt like right now? Why did I get an abscess under my gum line like 6 months ago or whatever, where I had to get antibiotics for it? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But now that I know that I don't have any cavities, I'm going to go on a mission to heal my gums a little bit. I mean, the gums are fine. I don't have gingivitis or anything like that, he said. Which, again, okay, whatever you say, sir. I'm just so confused. House for rent sign. Ever since I signed the paperwork on my house to rent my house, the road that I drove on every single day to go to and from work, there were three. I watched those streets every day looking for a house, and I would say to myself, like, oh, I can't wait for one of these houses to come up for rent. I can't wait for one of these houses to come up for rent. Like a freaking glue, looking for any sign for 2 years. And then the minute I signed papers on a fucking place, 2 rentals showed up. 3, actually. 4 if you count that one. Bubblegum pink Charger. Chevy Charger. Chevy is that Chevy? It's a Chevy something. Elliot's not with me. I'm going to be in my house all by myself for the very first time. I am going to go ham on that house when I get home. I think I might try and unpack my garage so that I can start working. I need to go to my storage unit. I need to go to Adams. I'm not doing my watch on. I'm not doing any of that shit today. I will do my house unpacking. I don't know how people sit still. I wish I had that in me sometimes. But I think I made up for it in my 20s. I sat around a lot in my 20s. I didn't do shit, actually. I felt like an appliance, like a microwave. Like I was just set up on a counter somewhere, and every now and again, and then just sat there. I can't believe that was my life. It is so incredibly weird how, like, I have changed from the person that I was. And it's sad to think that I could have been this person all along if I had any somewhat decent parentage. When I was able to get away from that, get rid of all the shit I learned in my mom's house and reparent myself the correct way, it turned out great. But my mom's parenting fucked me over. And that's why I know my son is going to be amazing. Because look how great I turned out. And I'm parenting Elliot the way that I wish that I had been parented, the same way I reparented myself. Elliot is very lucky to be growing up with a childhood that is instilling in him, his true qualities. Like, he's not going to have a life that he's going to have to escape from, because it's going to rain. Thank God that I finished moving. Is there anything at Adams outside that's not supposed to be outside? Is that a feed store? All the spaghetti. When somebody it rolled up the damn, slow the fuck down. I swear they leave the potholes in this road so that people don't speed. As soon as you hit the potholes, you're like, oh fuck, that's right. The speed limit's like 30. Slow down, brother, slow down. You guys remember that joke from middle school? My mom is chubby, my dad is chubby, and I'm chubby. Slow down, brother. Or did I make that up? I don't know. Dude, I do not want to eat fucking McDonald's again, bro. Go grocery shopping. Can't be bothered. Dude, why in the fuck do people park at the stop sign? There's a yellow. I'm gonna get spray paint and I'm gonna spray paint this shit. People park in the stop sign all the time. And like, you ain't supposed to do that. I wish I knew how to like make an audio recording of what it sounds like inside of my head. There's like 4 songs at any given moment going on in there. Different songs overlapping each other. And then random like, ooh, squirrel voices, you know? Like when I see something in the world, if I notice it, I think it. And I even say, ooh, look, Heather, look. Which makes me think to myself that perhaps that voice inside my head isn't actually even me. I wonder why they're parking in my driveway. Don't mind me just parking in my driveway. This is the first time I'm parking in my driveway. Who wants to bet money tries to run out the door? God damn, it smells so good in here. Hello. Hi. Hello. Hello, good boy. Are you sleeping? Hello, good boy. Hello, Mamas. Hello, good boy. Hello, Mamas. Oh, honey, I'm home. He's a good boy. Oh man, it smells so good in here. That lit last night. Wow. I thought the bus smelled good when I lit that candle, but like you can smell it. Like I lit the candle yesterday and I blew it out last night for bed and it still smells so incredible in here. He's a good boy. All right, hold on. Give me a minute. I gotta go pee and then I'm gonna read these comments, catch up. Now I can fucking smoke. Don't open the door, Money. I'm trying to go potty. Need privacy. I just fucking realized I'm wearing my shoes in the house. I just dropped Elliot off. Okay. So I just got back from the dentist. Oh wait, yeah, duh. You've already heard. You've been, yeah. Never mind. I'm going back to the beginning of the comments. I'm catching up. So let's see. Yeah, my aunt has the trigeminal neuralgia, actually. My aunt has it, and one of my best friends has it. Why aren't you fucking working, bro? I'm petting you, Mama. Oh, it's probably clogged. No? What did I say, Shauna, that made you laugh? Thank you, Shauna. I did really good for myself, yeah. No, Nikki's at her house. I haven't talked to her today yet. Did I end up giving her a key? To figure out what this other key is for, and it's for my back door. I'm giving Nikki copies of my keys because I want her to be able to just come over whenever she wants to get away or whatever. So I'm gonna give her copies of my keys. Also, if I ever get locked out, she lives close, so I mean my landlord lives next door, but you know, you never know. Golly, you're really wanting some attention, aren't ya? Oh, yeah. I remember a joke from when I was a child, and it was like this. It was like, so my name's Chubby, and my mom's chubby, and my dad is chubby, and my sister's chubby. And one day my dad got a motorcycle, and we rode on the back of the motorcycle. And then my dad was going so fast, I was like, slow down, Daddy! So weird needing keys for anything other than driving. Oh my god, my keys are tangled up. Yeah, but like I don't know if I don't remember, like I don't want to take credit for a joke that I didn't create, but I also don't know if anyone knows the joke because it might have just been me doing some, you know, I just wanted to do some thing to, you know, so I could have made it up. I don't know. Well, no time like the present. I'm gonna have to leave my garage door shut because the cat is gonna be going in there to explore. If it can get caught on something, boy, it fucking will. I tell you what. Fucking 3 doors. These are all wide doors too. Who's the genius that decided to do this? Look at this. Fucking ingenuity right here. I tell you what. Genius. Thought of that. Fucking genius. Well, at least I can get out. I just hope I can all the way get out. I'll be there and you'll be near, and that's the deal, my dear. Doopy doopy doop 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 doop. Be right back. Literally like an 11-year-old wrote it, you know what I mean? Because that's exactly what happened, I think. Okay, exercise stuff is going in the upstairs office. I can do that. Black cat? What black cat? Text Grandpa Josh. Can you please let Elliot know that I can see every video that he watches on YouTube, and I am really not very happy at the videos he was watching today? I'm deleting YouTube from this, or I'm gonna password protect the app. Hold on. It takes Face ID to open YouTube now. Bitch. Okay, let's go back to the video.
State, but decided not to.
She's really on this bricks and minifigs shit now.
Publicly on this matter of video recording public concern.
Only money, yeah.
There are videos being made about this in German, Korean.
Yeah, that's what Josh wants to do. When the trolls come in, we can just tell them this is my house now.
Because it is horrible. It's the reason I'm not involved in this case. Yes, it is very sad that a man had his Legos stolen. Yes, it is very sad that Crystal Law was evicted out of her store like that, and I hope for justice for them. But what on earth were the police doing a freaking automatic weapon SWAT raid? I mean, it looks like half of the American Fort Police Department did that. And then whenever the public didn't like it, they sent out their captain to ASMR, trying to hypnotize us and lie. He said in that public statement.
Okay.
He whispered in his public statement that Ben was there pretending to serve a warrant that had already been served. That was a lie. And that police, that chief, that lieutenant, whatever in the hell, he should have known and probably did know that it was a lie, because it was his own department that 3 days after Ben got arrested for trying to serve the warrant, 2 days later, his department got paid money to go and serve that same exact warrant. So the cop did the warrant officer, the chief, the one that was anything, he knew, or should have known, because that's his department. He also lied about Sheldon Norcross and claimed he was trying to manipulate his phone. The only person trying to manipulate that phone was the American Fort Police Department, constantly trying to press the thing to keep it open, to circumvent the constitutional requirement that they get a search warrant. Then they rely on Wendy and or with the Eagle as informants, intel gatherers, cooperators. These people thrust themselves into this public controversy by working as agents of the American Fort Police Department. So welcome to your tape, Wellses. Hope you enjoy your time here. Here we are. All right. So this is what we talked about yesterday. Dishonorable Judge Roger W. Griffin, BYU graduate, signed off on the bogus search warrant. We have it right here. We have Captain ASMR here, Captain Liar Liar Pants on Fire, and the guy with the beagle, Ryan Wells. Now, I don't know for sure if this right here is him, but that really does look like him. And a bunch of y'all sent me the actual air and the listing. Now, apparently it's gone. I mean, what it looks like to me. What it looks like to me is they actually rent out both the upper level and the lower level. Now,
Honey, what are you doing?
I might do that after I get off the lot today.
Exercise.
If it's not zoned as a federal residence, then maybe they're doing some tax evasion. I don't know. I'll look it up in my phone. But the picture on the thumbnail came from this. They made this public. Now, I do want to say before I get any further, I've gone out of my way to use some stuff that goes to this. Right now, do not contact or send aid to anyone mentioned in this video. Unlike Ryan or Richard Andy, I'm not going to be cooperating with the cops against him. Unlike him, I'm not going to be making any allegations to the police about but I'm not going to be talking about any of their business to any police officers. Now, there's common courtesy on the people who trusted them to stay in their Airbnb and not have automatic weapons rolling up on them. But don't contact these people. I haven't contacted them. I have no desire to. I don't trust these people. I think they'll sell you down the river for a corn chip and a coupon. I'm not really interested in having anything to do with these demon-possessed, psychotic bitches. I have absolutely no desire to talk to them, but I would strongly recommend y'all don't hit them up. And if you do, and you end up facing some type of criminal consequence for it, you probably deserve it. But they made this part right here public when they put their Airbnb out to the public on a public website for the public to rent. Okay. Now, when you click on it now, one of the links works and one of them says, oops. Please do it. It says, oops. The listing is gone. And like cockroaches, they are not stirring it. But as you can see here, Ryan. He works as an educator, administrator, born in the 80s, speaks English and Spanish, and lives in American Fork. Identity verified. Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm a principal at an elementary school. Do I know which elementary school he's a principal at? Yes. Nobody put it in the chat, though. Is it a public record where he is an elementary school principal? Yes. Public. Don't put it in the chat. I'm not going to say it. But I'm making sure to dot my I's and cross my T's and all of that, okay? Because they have us out here hiding for our lives over doing something we have the right to do, which is look at the public record of stuff and talk about it. Meanwhile, they can, you know what, and you know what, all over anybody else's rights, and that's just how they do it, and we just do it different in Utah. Okay.
We should go in the office.
I know he's a principal. The elementary school has a Facebook page that's public. They ought to probably make that private.
Oh, the spider made herself more safe.
Private. If the principal who owns a Desert Eagle and does some type of joint training mission with the local cops is going to be out here snitching and narking on his Airbnb guests, he's going to piss somebody off. They ought to probably make the elementary school private on the Facebook. There's pictures of people's kids. I would not want my kid going to a school with somebody that's the principal. I'll tell you that. I'd pull him out today. But I'm not going to mention who, where, he's the principal of the school. Okay? But he did make this information public. He's the principal. His wife, Rachel, that's her middle name. Her real name is, according to the registry of deeds, Wendy Rachel. She's an hairdresser and a stay-at-home. Oh, okay. We have 4 amazing kids. Probably not a good idea to be advertising how many kids you have on your Airbnb listing if you're going to be snitching and narking to the cops for no reason. And we love to enjoy the beautiful outdoors. Were you outdoors with your ear up to the side of the house trying to eavesdrop on Ben and his friends talking about possible stolen Legos, which is the entire subject matter of their series that they're making? They enjoy time outdoors.
No.
Whether camping, four-wheeling, hiking, paddle boarding, or just home watching a movie and listening to Reckless Ben through the wall. Now, Ryan, verified, September 2020. Trust is the cornerstone of Airbnb's community. Trust is the cornerstone of Airbnb's community. You should be able to trust that when you're making a YouTube video and you're minding your business inside the Airbnb, you will have your expectation of privacy, which is a legal right under the federal constitution, respected or protected by the federal constitution, respected. Trust is the cornerstone of the Airbnb community. And identity verification is part of how we build it. Checks this person's information against a trusted third-party source or a government ID. The process has safeguards but doesn't guarantee that someone is who they say they are. So that's them. Wendy Rachel Wells, who has extremely blonde hair, if you'll notice, her hair looks exactly like the lady's hair in the front seat of the unmarked F-150 or the American Court Police Department. Doesn't it look just like that hair? I mean, look, it is Mormon. It is Utah. A lot of Mormon women have the same hair, the bleach blonde with the Utah curl. Okay, so maybe it was somebody else sitting in that front seat with the sunglasses flipping her hair. It's hard for me to believe that it was a cop. Hard for me to believe it was a cop, because why wouldn't the cop have gotten out? We did hear, what's his name? I think it was Alonzo. I don't remember who thought he came. Well, I don't even know. This Axon 311, 1747, 52, we heard him say, I drove Desert Eagle. Right now. The warrant, I will remind you, let's look at the timeline real quick. What time did Cole submit this, executed, that means signed it? 5:11 p.m. on March 11th. 5:11 p.m. on March 11th, he signs this application for a search warrant. 5:37, not even 30 minutes later, it gets approved by the BYU graduate, Judge Roger W. Griffin. Not even 30 minutes goes by before it's approved. Not even 10 minutes
All right,
goes
let's try and
by
get the things out of here.
before they are banging on the door with guns. So one could be forgiving or believing, and also Cockroach, the one who does listening and the one
You think you're slick, huh?
the one who's been a cop for less than 2 years. He had been a police officer for more than a year, over a year. So not 2 years as a police, and they handed that rookie an automatic weapon. He was the one that made this materially false affidavit upon which the search warrant was based.
Honey, you're gonna
He
kill
not
me,
only
dude.
submitted that search warrant affidavit at 5:11, he was there at the SWAT raid with gun in hand at 5:47. So 30 minutes? What could be forgiven for believing or assuming? They were all just lined up on the street with the owners in the car, in the truck. Again. 5:11 p.m. That would be 11 o'clock. That's when he submits this. 5:37. 5:37. That would be 17:37. The judge signs and issues the search warrant, and 10 minutes later, boots are on the ground, guns in hands, and they're going to that, walking up to that Airbnb. So, 5:11, 5:37, and 5:47. 5:37, the warrant gets approved. Less than 30 minutes after it's applied for, BYU grad judge. And then 10 minutes after that, they're banging on the door with guns. So, how long? remember in the search warrant,
Whatever. I need like shelves and things to hang up.
Unmarked patrol car, spying, scoping out. Later, a third-party individual
Go buy a shelf or something.
Who I believe is Wendy Rachel, the female, and that's why they say they instead of she, is down here. Later, a third-party group shared information. Was it the email? Was it on the phone? About how they have a bunch of YouTubers renting out their Airbnb. This fits the nature of Benjamin Schneider's group. An unmarked police unit went to the address to scope out the area. When the unmarked police unit scoped out the area, he noticed the same Chevy Malibu parked in the parkway. Now, I don't think it was parked on the parkway. I think it was parked on the street. This is associated with Ben Schneider. It is known, Okay, officers contacted the homeowner, which I don't know why you would need to, because this third party already contacted y'all, or shared information, I don't know how, to acquire video footage. The homeowner was cooperative. You mean by sitting in your truck? Provided that video footage. It displayed
I have so many books.
So less than 2 hours prior. Like, when did the cops go live? 1747. So less than 2 hours before they started swatting, that's when Ben walked into the basement of the Airbnb that he rented and where he had a reasonable expectation of privacy. The homeowner also disclosed he could hear multiple individuals inside. Okay, wait. At this time, they don't say when, could hear multiple individuals inside the residence. Possible stolen Lego toys. How?
Sweet, found my other camera.
Well, that would make sense because the cop said he was there in his truck. An unmarked police unit went and scoped out the area. There was a Chevy Malibu sitting there. The homeowner cooperated and provided video footage. Well, it would have had to be pretty soon after the video footage was taken, right? Because within 2 hours, the search warrant had been effectuated. A search warrant was underway. A search
Security camera.
Pursuant to the warrant. So within 2 hours, Ben walks into that basement and he has an automatic rifle pointed at him. So it must have moved pretty fast. But Cockroach wrote it in his warrant. This was a manhunt. And these homeowners.
Okay.
How long was the unmarked car spying on Ben? How long was the unmarked car occupied by this man? Whoever it is. I believe it's Wendy. Now that y'all have seen what Wendy showed Wells's picture on the public, now deleted Airbnb. This might be public still. About right, it's still public right now. It's public right now. There was a review 1 day ago. 1 day ago.
Tape is weaker than the fucking cardboard.
They're public review. I mean, put that picture up.
What is this?
Public. Please don't send any hate. Please don't even contact them. There's pictures. I'm personally not going to stay there. I mean, I have occasion to go to Utah soon. Am I going to be renting any Airbnb in American Fork? Absolutely not. I don't want the cops to show up and roll up on me with guns from
I know what it is.
With their ear up to the door.
The desk that got destroyed in the tent that I never got to put together.
I was talking about a stolen Lego because I guarantee you when I'm in Utah, if I go, I'm going to be talking about stolen Legos too. It makes me not want to use the service of Airbnb at all. It would be so much different if they went in there and found some crimes. If they went in there and found some evidence of a crime. If they went in there and found a freaking one single goddamn Lego brick. They found to enter effective. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I'm not, the IT type of the world. Thank you for the $5. Who is Key McNellis or I have no idea who that is. Thank you for the $2 super chat. It's not too late to be back. States that the cop who lives next door talked to the Airbnb owner. Okay, let me check out the incident report. Where's that? Would it be on BAM sucks? I know there's like so many documents for different things. I have a lot of them, but I don't have a lot of them. Which one's the incident report? Oh, I think this might be it.
Anything that was on my dresser when I was packing got shoved in drawers, apparently. Okay. Now this one can go be put away.
This is an incident report, but I don't know. Okay, this is just trespass. I'm just trying to find this specific incident report. This is March 9th, March 10th. March 10th. This is where they tried to get him held without bail. This is the affidavit for search warrant. So I'm looking for the police incident report that you're talking about, Defiant Samaritan. No item seized. I don't know which incident report about the guy that lived next door, but that would be very helpful if you could point me into the direction of that. It is difficult for me to like keep up with like every single thing being said in chat, so if you or someone could send me that specific incident report for that specific incident, would love to see that. I would love to see that. Thank you for the $10. Thank you so much for the $1.99. This is my second stream, so I don't know the channel at all. I got my law degree, I should have, from the University of Pennsylvania. That's not Penn State. Okay, that's a different school, but go Penn State, y'all. Shout out to y'all too. That's not where I went though. Thank you for the $1.99. Thank you to Cage for the $9.99. They're already making cuts, and only police coverage. This judgment will be on the well, that sucks. Maybe they should get rid of this chief and get a new one in place, because I mean, a horse rots from the head down, and that really does suck. I think at the local level, it is a lot easier to vote out who aren't doing their jobs. It's a lot easier at the local level. Yeah, I mean that sucks. That really does suck. But at the end of the day, this police department is a major liability to that city or that town or whatever. It's a major liability. Like this police department needs to learn the law. They need to sit down and take their notebooks out and learn a little bit about the Constitution. Thanks so much to Jameson for the $1.99 and the other $1.99. Who set up the trust? Josh Company sets up trusts. I want to know. Thanks so much to Interfecteras for the $5. I believe the Airbnb owner is probably running it just to catch outsiders, and they probably love the place allegedly. Definitely female and blonde. Look like it to me. Now that's what I want to know. How did they overhear? That's like criminal eavesdropping to me. But that's my opinion. I don't know. Innocent until proven guilty. It's not like the cops are going to arrest him for anything. They did eyes on him, and he has a desert eagle. $32 GRB chaser doing. A lot of people have don't think so is because he says has the Desert Eagle. Like
That's
I
a
think
gun.
The Hydra or the Hydro probably.
It's
has
where you
something
shoot
else to
gun
do
into
with
water.
Range training, some type of paramilitary, joint military training, Hydro. There is like a military.
I need a basket or wires. I'll use one.
Training operation called Hydra
Put it
in
outside.
Utah. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these cops are on the National Guard. Maybe the cops are doing drugs with people. I really doubt in this particular. I really highly doubt when he talked about Hydra that's what he was talking about. But I mean, a lot of people do think that. I'm not trying to say I know and y'all don't. Maybe y'all are right. But without a little more proof, I'm not going to be out here being like, yeah, these are drug addict cops. Like, you know, you understand. I can't just like
This tanning stuff.
But I also really don't think that's what they were talking about. I really think they were talking about some type of tactical mission training or gun range training or something. Because he said we did Hydra with a guy with the Desert Eagle. Like, why would they be referencing the Desert Eagle? But maybe the girl, who knows? There's much to do in Hydro, maybe water skiing. Again, why would they have a Desert Eagle? Right, exactly. This is a great question, Max. This is a great question. I mean, I think it goes without saying, but let's go to the basket. Actually, good point. 50 SEK. Why would a random Airbnb even care about somebody talking about a stolen Lego? That's a great question. It shouldn't mean anything to him. Nobody even knew about it. Exactly. Thanks so much, Interfect Terrace, for the
Telescopic clothesline.
Sad, but this is
Wonder if it would fit in here.
We all know it's about exposing corruption on every level. It's not even about Utah or Mormons. It's about institutional corruption everywhere. Period. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you for the $10. Thank you to Tianuta.
Another telescopic clothesline. We're outside this time.
First responder training exercise. That's kind of what that's like here.
Really?
They are defending, thank you, Player Profit, for the $2 Canadian. They're defending maliciousness with incompetence. Could be. Thanks so much to make
That's lame.
$2. Again, we have somebody else with like maybe Hydro has something to do with substance. Thanks so much to GRB for the $5. Ben's driver let the cops know Ben was at an Airbnb. His fault. Cops went looking for it. Their fault. At Airbnb, like, no, the cops knowing that Ben is at his Airbnb is not a license for them to raid the place. Okay, so that's something y'all have to understand, the way the Constitution works, the way our rights work. The cops can easily know where any of us are at any given time. They can probably get into our phones, probably a lot of stuff that they don't tell us they can do, they probably do in it. If they run our names, they can find.
Oh, it's really long.
If a cop is sitting outside in the driveway, he better get the hell up off my property. If the cop is sitting outside, he can know I'm inside. That doesn't give the cop a right to come and raid my house. So somebody simply saying Ben is at his Airbnb, that's not dangerous. That is, so what? So he's not doing anything wrong here. If everybody would just been raided with guns and have their house busted into by the cops with guns, because the cops happen to know where we live or where we are, can you imagine the society we would live in? So Ben's driver letting the cops know that Ben is at the Airbnb is completely immaterial. It's completely irrelevant. The only relevant question here is, did the cops have probable cause based upon oath or affirmation, like a witness statement or an officer's statement with evidence, that there was evidence of a crime in that Airbnb? And the answer is somebody overhearing somebody talking about a possible stolen Lego is absolutely not probable cause. But it does create a lot of issues, like how did that owner hear that? How did the owner get in touch with the cops, or did the cops get in touch with the owner? Somebody being inside of a house has what? He's not doing anything wrong. So I don't understand this whole it's his fault. You're kind of missing the whole point. The cops can know you're in your house. They can sit out there in the public driveway or the public street all day long. They have to have probable cause based upon oath or affirmation, and almost always they have to have search warrant. So, get to the house. That's So what? Y'all need to understand how stuff works. Thanks so much to Interfecteros for the $2. Yeah, they really. Thanks so much to Fressa for becoming a new member. Big Black Dog for becoming a member. Thanks so much to Blue for $5. We like to be out there watching local police swat our guests that we narked on. It makes. Put a 1 in the chat. Hold on. I'm not even gonna do a 1 in the chat. I'm gonna do an actual poll. I want to just see. Am I alone here? Are y'all also like low-key, like wary of renting an Airbnb at all now, knowing that this is how they could do your Airbnb? The owner of your Airbnb could be sitting down the street on the block with the cops, informing them in the car, in the unmarked car that is spying on you when you have not committed any crimes. In the thing, it said some stuff about stalking, and it said some stuff about harassment. None of that had been proven yet. But if it was about stalking and harassment, why were freaking Legos being stolen mentioned? We were stolen Legos. Wait, was he charged with theft? Was he being investigated for theft? They didn't even say who. I said, we want to search then because multiple individuals were overheard. Multiple individuals were overheard talking about possible stolen Legos. So we need to bum rush into this house with guns, arrest people and bring them into cages, interrogate them, violate their rights, even further.
So many of my clothes are missing.
Unknown individuals were talking about
They're in
possible
drawers, so.
stolen Legos. I need to know. In this poll I'm about to put up, if y'all are feeling a little bit some type of way about using the service of Airbnb at all whatsoever, because I am now, and it is because of Ryan McKean Wells and Wendy Rachel Wells. So are you having second thoughts about using Airbnb at all, considering how they cooperated with the Police Department? I'm gonna vote in it. I'm gonna vote in this poll. Are you having second thoughts? I'm gonna vote yes. Yes. 41 votes, 60 votes. Let's get it up to, okay, 97, 109. 94% of people. 93% of people out of 200. Let's get the votes. I'm looking at the poll right now because I want to know. I'm feeling a little bit leery about renting an Airbnb, especially in Utah. I seriously, like, I'm actually like putting myself in the position, like, I open the Airbnb door and I'm just looking around, like, is there a camera in here? Is the owner gonna come listen? One of the big reasons, a lot of us rent an Airbnb instead of a hotel is that it is way more private. It feels like you're in your own little home, away from home. We have 359 votes. 93% of y'all are leery of even using Airbnb again. Second thoughts. 369. Jason says it seems like Airbnb is okay with their owners violating their guests' rights since they haven't kicked them off the platform. Tunichifa said, I'm just getting a hotel, me. What is Airbnb's policy on recording devices? 93% of 406 votes. This is a public issue. It's an issue of public concern. Zero to the 505. Did a dumb cop just grab a search warrant instead of an arrest warrant by mistake, or are they very different? They are very different. An arrest warrant does not allow them to go into a home or a residence. It only allows them to arrest. So you kind of have to wait till the person, you see them. Now they can go knock on the door, but if nobody comes to the door, they can't bust the door down. I said someone said earlier that the poor American Ford residents, poor things, they're already kind of like understaffed with the police. They sent out 10, 15 cops, like 10 of them. That had to be a third of the damn police department. They're short on resources, but they're all there to intimidate some YouTubers. And even if, let's say that they didn't seize any item, not even one single Lego brick, but let's say they did. Let's say somehow there was like some stolen Legos in there. Well, it's interesting to me because it's like, why are you investigating stolen Legos on the one hand, and on the other hand, whenever other people have been accused of stealing Legos, okay, let's leave that to the side for a moment. If it was stolen Legos, did it require all those cops with the guns and the pepper spray and the bulletproof vests and the 6 police cruisers and the 1 unmarked police cruiser with the owners of the Airbnb sitting in it? Did it require all that for some stolen Legos? Like, it wasn't like they were like, oh, Your Honor, we need the search warrant because they got guns. We need the search warrant because they got drugs. We need the search warrant because they have a human trafficking ring going. No, a possible stolen Legos is what the warrant said, the affidavit. Possible stolen Legos. What? Thanks so much to Alloy for giving one BJC Live Show membership. Thank you. Thank you to Renan for the $2. It's giving it a pound cake. It is. And I think that Ben might actually be from Ohio or like has lived in Ohio, and that's where the whole Afro-Man thing. Thank you so much to Ben Rosenthal for the $2. The BAM Mapcom shows the shelving. BAM Mapcom? I don't know what that is. Thank you for the $2. Thanks so much to CDC Dogs for the $4.99. Hydro Desert Eagle usually refers to a toy or airsoft gel blaster designed to look like iconic 50 handgun, usually probably used for training. Okay. Thank you for $4.99. Thank you to Mr. Rakar for the $5. Hydro dipping a Desert Eagle is to change the appearance of the pew pew, common among pew pew enthusiasts. Could be. Maybe they went and did some hydro dipping. Maybe could have been that. I don't know. He literally says hydro. He said the same guy did the hydro. He said the same guy they did the hydro with owned the gun and the Airbnb. Why do you guys keep forcing hydro? Well, it's actually a linguistic phenomenon called vowel fronting, and people in the Pacific Northwest also do this, and dialects of American English like North Carolina, where it will actually sound to non-native speakers of that dialect as if someone is saying O instead of A.
Hey, I found my other encyclopedias and all my albums.
It's called vowel fronting. So it does, to me, as a speaker of like a Southern American English dialect, it does sound like it's ambiguous and could go either way. But I do understand, Cristali, I think for the $10, how somebody who doesn't speak those dialects might just only hear one. There's a lot of different things that like dialects do, like pen and pin. Like some dialects in the Northeast will call like a writing utensil pen, and they'll call something that you poke yourself with like a pin. But then in the South, everything's a pin, and that's why it's an ink pen, because you're just saying pin. So it's like a pig pen, ink pen, a hat pin, everything's a pin. Pin law, pin state, dialectal. So I really don't think people are trying to force anything. I think anybody that's trying to only say that it has to be one thing is actually the one that's trying to force. So I do understand that you have an opinion on this and you're very zealous about it, but I just frankly just don't agree. I don't think he's saying, drugs, paint junkies. I just don't think that's what he's saying. But maybe. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Thanks so much to Unlucky Charms for the $5. A little tidbit about trespassing is police cannot solicit a trespass. Ooh, nor can they take up a defamation crime on their own. Yep. Thank you, 2012 Jameson for the $4.99. Theory is Josh Johnson, who wants Ben arrested, asked the Airbnb owner to help him get Ben arrested, and it is Josh that is saying Ben stole the Legos. He did say that. You stole a bitch! And aren't Mormons not supposed to curse? Why did Josh Johnson say to Ben, you stole a bitch? Why did he say bitch? Is he allowed to say that? Somebody tell me. Anyway, thank you for $4.99. That's a good theory. Could be. it's just Charlotte for the $2. I don't want to visit Utah in general now. It seems scary. It does seem very beautiful. Utah and Arizona, though, and Nevada, the big mountain.
Money, that's an electrical outlet. Come on.
Like near Utah, like Salt Lake City, like seeing the pictures and stuff. Oh my God, one day I'm going to see those mountains. It looks so beautiful. I've never seen anything like that. But they're scary over there. I see where you're coming from. Thank you to Dream Siddles for $5. Airbnb is corrupt too. I will never stay there, and I have never. I know someone that works for the corporation in homeowner protection. He is a big womanizer. Thanks so much to 2012 Jameson for $1.99. No lock warrants are hard to get. BAM map. Okay, thank you, Ben. The BAM map. One word with a dot.
Books.
Okay. Hold on, let me see. The BAM map. The BAM map.com. What is this? Investigative dossier. What is this? Oh, it just came out yesterday. Oh, so this. Thanks much to Shorky Dog Mom Coffee. I think there was an Airbnb just before about a person being recorded in the bedroom and the shower. It was a while back. After I heard that, I decided to never use them. Yeah, I don't blame you. I ain't using them myself. I'm going to the Lakeisha girl. I'm gonna be at the Holiday Inn. Okay, so Ben told me about this. This one was out yesterday. It does say this was compiled on June 17th, 2026, which was yesterday. So it says, the asset protection machine the story. A consigned Lego collection went missing from a toy store franchise in Oregon. Pull the thread and it turns into a two-generation Utah enterprise that sold playbook on its own companies and answered its loudest critic with a racketeering assault, a gag order, and a police raid whose body cam was loudly read out. This page attempts to create the complete self-contained record. Every entity, every relationship, and why it matters. The full event chronology, every legal argument, and every document. Each graded and scrutinized. Okay. So obviously, it's the whole story. We're not going to get all of it, but we can read this first, like intro paragraph, see where it leads. In November 2023, Brian Mansell walked into the Bricks and Mortar store in Kaiser, Oregon, and consigned his elderly father's Star Wars Lego collection with a franchise to sell. He never saw most of it again. A year later, the franchisor terminated that store, repossessed it, ran it as a corporate location, and then handed it to two new independent owners. One was the franchisor's own franchise sales recruit. It's true. All this is stuff that I've seen too. The other was the contractor it had sent to inventory the store before it even seized it. This says when it seized it, but it was actually before. Remember, it was like in October 20-something. It seized the store in November. When a YouTuber who covers Lego, Reckless Ben, began documenting the missing collection, I don't think he really does cover Lego. I think he's just an investigator, YouTuber, began documenting the missing collection. The response was not to give a refund. It was a 13-count racketeering lawsuit, a restraining order dictating what he could publish, takedown demands to Patreon, GoFundMe, and after a traffic stop, a search warrant, an arrest, and a body camera footage of the police that the police released, blacking out roughly 3 hours of video and muting about 94 minutes of audio. This person says, I don't think this is probably like AI written or assisted. None of that, what you just heard, is the real story. I agree. To me, like, okay, if you're asking me what I think is the most important, it's the corruption of the police, how they got involved in this private dispute, even though they admitted many times this was supposed to be a civil matter to work out between private parties. And the company, the business, the structure, the organization, the corporate structure. What's going on behind the curtain, fam? What's going on behind the curtain that Ann and McNeff seem to story? Me, is my opinion. Not to dismiss or to diminish somebody was abused, that they're an abuse victim. Okay, so yes, we're looking at B, which is the fault. It's the consequence. It's the conclusion. It's the reality. The B is that Crystal Gorman was dispossessed of her property. The B as well, or we call it C, is that Ben Mansell also dispossessed of his property. But in my opinion, B and C are both caused by it, which is the business. What's going on over there? That's what I'm trying to look at. That's what I'm the most interested in, that and the cops. And what I really think and wonder, I shouldn't say think, I have a hunch that there's some overlap between that as well. None of it is the real story. It is the surface of one. Underneath is Legally Mine, an asset protection firm built by Daniel J. McNabb. He had originally run it with his sons Ammon and Matthew. Their entire business was teaching people to make themselves hard to sue and hard to make. An Ohio court has ruled that an Ohio court ruled that they were engaged in the unauthorized practice of law. But I want to be very clear. As far as the business records are concerned, Ammon and Matt are no longer involved in this company. And what I truly believe, I genuinely have believed, is they're no longer involved.
Hello, love. No, this is my garage.
And what the
Fuck you, Randy. I just moved in.
support is
Suck a dick and die, bitch.
Whether they were, was some type of farce lawsuit or not, not even getting into that. When they kept going back and forth, his sons back and forth, the end result of that is to split up the businesses. So the end result of that was Dan walked away with one baby, or one half of the baby, or one baby, we'll just say one baby, which was Legally Mine. They split ways, and the sons walked away with Bricks and Days and the franchising game. That's what it appears like to me. That is what the public record says. So just to be very clear, it is not in the public record. Does not appear to be the case that Ammon and Matt are still involved. And it doesn't appear to be the case that they were involved in Legally Mine for the past 5 years. So when Legally Mine was found to be engaged in the unauthorized practice of law in Ohio by the Ohio State Bar Association, it was in 2025, which was a good 4 years after Ammon and Matt had been separated from Legally Mine, at least in the public documents and stuff. So I want to be very clear, I'm reading this, the damn map, but I want to just be clear. That Legally Mine, yes, Ammon used to be the president. He used to be
Golden, look. Are you still here?
It doesn't appear like he is anymore. And he was out of the picture of Legally Mine by the time that unauthorized practice of law thing came around. The family then appears to have run the same creditor frustration playbook on its
Golden, are you still in here?
years. Okay, it's not a fact. A litigated firm renamed to Empty Husk. The brand handed to a man.
Thank you, Michelle Taylor, for the star.
1999 consumer redress judgment against.
Hi, Patrick.
The collapsed iMall internet venture.
Hi, Calvin. Hi, Bunny.
And a new holding company stood up.
Is this thing even working?
The insolvent toy franchise in the middle of the litigation, even as the marks themselves still sit registered to the old entity. That must be the bricks and mortar trademark. Two halves are the same instant. Never let the facts be tested.
Okay, so it must be working. Damn, was hoping Golden was in here. I want to show her the house.
A gag order. The police on anyone who asks where they went. People who win by hiding the connections lose. When the connections
I think you're pretty. Anyway, so this is my new house. This is my kitchen. This is my dining area. This is where I'm holding all my furniture for right now. This is my living room, my fireplace, my front door, my stairs. And then my bedroom. It's my room. And then bathroom. I have a medicine cabinet. Look at that. I don't have to keep all my stuff in a basket anymore. It falls off my shelf all the time. So this is my office / exercise room. I'm probably gonna end up moving that out of here. I'm not sure just yet. I might leave it in here so I can store, like, I may end up bringing all of my arts and craft stuff up here, and I might bring my sewing stuff up here. I just don't know yet. I haven't decided just yet. I think that's what I'm gonna do. What are you doing? But I'm definitely gonna have my exercise stuff up here. So this is the office, and this is my son's room. I got him a loft bed. It's his closet. It's all empty still because we haven't really finished moving in. But this is my house. Dude, it is a badass, lovely day today. There's no AC necessary. It's just been really nice outside. Pretty exciting. And someone gave me, it's kind of in rough shape because it kind of went through some stuff before I was able to get to it. And then it lived in the U-Haul for 2 days, and then it was outside for like an hour, and it got too much sun. So it's a little bit rough, but look at this beautiful plant that I inherited. And it's already got its little posts and stuff in it. The fireplace area is just like very nice. Obviously, I'm gonna do something about that eventually, but can't deal with it right now. And this closet too is huge. So I have this closet under the staircase that I can like put shit that I don't want to look at. So I'm pretty excited about that. Actually, you know what? I already know exactly what I'm gonna put in there.
Took them off of all the work they were doing with Medi-Source marketing. So now
Oh, I caught you.
wow, this is like a very extensive. Okay, hold on. Here's the map. Where's the map? That's what I want. I'm not just on this map. Ooh. Okay. The issue is like when I try to zoom in, it's like glitches the whole thing out. John Masick, he's the original owner of founder, one of the two founders. These two guys right here are the founders. Legally Mine, Swiss Fund, National Foundation, J Mitten, Vail Corporate. J Mitten is attached to Vail Corporate? Oh, because it's a parallel Mitten lineage mill. Okay, gotcha. Wow, this is crazy. These things kind of like blow my mind a little bit. This is very interesting. Woo. All right, y'all. Well, that is thebamMap.com. That is thebamMap.com. You can go check that out. Thanks so much for the $4.99. Thank you, Ben, for letting me know about that. Thank you for the $2 connection map. Connection map? It says litigation map. I don't see connection map. Thanks so much to GRP for the $5. Have you seen Eagle Dog's video, The Chihuahua Effect? Yes, I did mention it yesterday for a little bit. Thanks so much for the $5, or the day before maybe. Thanks so much to CatFacts for the $4.99. Does Utah have strong anti-SLAPP, or should Ben try to get his case moved to California? It's going to be very hard for him to move to California. I really don't think he'll be able to. He did avail himself to the state of Utah when he went to Utah, so he was there for all the incidents. I think it's pretty much going to have to stay in Utah, because the lawsuit is based on actually fucking Utah as well. Yeah, you know, the video.
Oh, I won't.
The video was probably edited or published when he was in California, but I think it would be very difficult to get it removed to California.
No, money not there.
We were trying to do it, but who knows?
Oh!
But Utah does have.
Are you okay? It perfectly fits 2 of those
It seems
bins
to be,
on the wall,
definitely not
long,
as old
like
and
under the stairs.
well established as the California
pretty
one,
awesome.
but they do appear to have one in the court.
I got a house!
The appendix almost has 1,000.
I did, Courtney. I got a
Documents
fucking
and
house.
resources.
This one is actually mine. It's
Johnson
not
did
just a
not drop
cleaning
video.
job.
You gotta be kidding me. People come in here and say anything, but now I'll just look it up just in case. Does he have a YouTube channel? No, it'd be so funny if he really did. I would laugh. Oh, Joshua Johnson, the comedian. You talking about? I knew about that, yeah. The band Map has a section on anti-slap. Good to know. Good to know. Thanks so much to Ben for the $2. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The comedian, yeah.
Remember them? This is the only thing keeping me alive.
Okay. So, is this the one that is still up? This is a possible Hydra thing, but it doesn't mention the police, so I just wanted to show it to y'all. We really don't know what the Hydra is. Maybe he was saying what Dave was doing to drugs, girl. I don't know. Utah's Joint Exercise Hydra challenges the boundaries of traditional exercises. Salt Lake City, the Utah Army and Air National Guard, in partnership with the Air Force and the Air Force Reserve, concluded Joint Exercise Hydra. May 2025, the exercise demonstrated the lethality of cross-service collaboration and the value it brings to joint force readiness, innovation, and cultural evolution. Within the force, an essential step in building America's combat power, blah, 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 blah. So, I don't know, bro. I mean, much like its mythological namesake, known for its resilience and ability to strike from multiple angles, the joint exercise, yeah, I mean, this sounds like they had a Hydra on Ben. The joint exercise showcased real-time battle space visualization, enhanced targeting coordination, and extended operational reach through advanced technology and communication capabilities. Girl, somebody over there needs to learn how to write a sentence. This is too damn long. These are critical components of developing wartime skills, deterring the enemy, and ensuring operational flexibility. So the enemy, I mean, look, I'm not saying this is definitely what, you know, they were talking about. I really have no idea.
Come on.
But reading this makes me realize that, like, an entire military operation or something like it was absolutely launched against Ben and his friends who were doing nothing wrong. Like, maybe there was, like, a little bit of, like, you know, they were aggravating, they were annoying. Excuse me. Maybe at some point, you know, what they were doing would have turned into stalking or harassment. You know, it's up to a court to decide or whatever. But like its mythological namesake, do y'all know what a Hydra is? It's like a multi-headed thing, and if you cut one of its heads off, 3 more grow back. You probably saw it in, like, Hercules. It's like, you know, one of these things.
He said Hydro.
It's got all these heads.
They were shooting Desert Eagles into a puddle of water
It's got,
to
like,
do
you know,
bullet
it's like
stuff.
one of these things. So, like, a Hydra. Enhanced targeting coordination, extended operational reach, advanced technology, communication, wartime. This is like they attacked they ran a wartime operation on this kid. God, man. It's from Greek mythology, right? Thanks so much to Nachala for the £1 super chat. Thank you. Thanks so much to Scruffy for the $2 super chat. Also, Hydra is name of the bad guy organization. Exactly. Why was the first words from the head detective, "We have the subject in custody," when there was no search? The target. Target. They call it a target. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So that's one thing. And then, you know, just should all come over here. So this is the Defense Visual Information Distribution Service. This is a video that they made on this joint exercise. Joint exercise Hydra challenges the boundaries of traditional exercises, cyber team, and medical detachment. And they do holler somebody's name is Ryan. And that's, Ryan Wells. I don't know.
What the fuck? Oh wow.
He likes it raw. Okay, no, that's not him. This is Ryan. That's not him, right? This looks crazy. This looks like something I'm not supposed to be looking at. Like, we're not supposed to be able to see this. Anyway, so y'all can research that if you want. The search warrant had nothing about arrest. The arrest was illegal. Arrest warrant was written after the arrest. See? Thanks so much to Narcissan for the 10 euros. Sorry, just tuning in. Is there a connection to the training system called Hydra? I don't know. That's the whole, the bottom line about the Hydra, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. Thank you for the 10 euros. Oilos. Thank you for the 1999 Mercurial. Take a peek at the new American Fork promotional. There's a new American Fork promotional video? Okay. I'll pull that up. Oh, the AI song? Oh shoot, okay, hold on. I gotta hang this up for work real quick. I'll listen to the AI song while we're waiting. This thing caused quite the ruckus on the Reddit. The people were mad about it being AI. I mean, me personally, I think there's like a place for AI when it's like a joke and it's funny and it's like obvious that it's AI and whatever. People being like, this takes jobs away from like real, humans and stuff. It might, but I just highly doubt anybody was gonna hire somebody to make this music video. I really do. Welcome to American Fork, a friendly town, a real good time. We pulled you over for a red light. The dash cam disagrees, but that's fine. We do things a little different here. We take care of our own. Got a problem with a friend of ours. Maybe you should just go home. Oh. You wanna serve some court documents. Somebody doesn't want them though. Oh, okay. I'm on the board this time. But he won't know. Your eyes are looking mighty glossy. A friend here says you're dealing drugs. We searched your car for 3 whole hours and only found a couple of shrugs. We do things a little different here. We take care of our own.
They've got the guy barefoot dancing in the yard. Oh no, he doesn't have shoes on. In the AI music video, Josh Johnson wasn't barefoot though. He should have had hobbit feet. We're almost done here. I don't want to listen to the AI song. I'm over it. Candace Owens come on today? time is it? Oh, Trump has finally put Bibi in his place. Is that right? Dude, so I had scheduled a cleaning at the dentist today, and they told me, so the earliest appointment they have is in January. I never stop working, that's right.
In your mind's eye, you imagine the American empire ending someday, probably in like a conflagration, in some sort of conflict with another great power. If you had to pick one, you would imagine the end might come in a dispute over Taiwan, formerly Formosa, the island off mainland China that China considers part of its country. There's been a dispute about this for almost 8 years. And the United States has sort of informally suggested that it would defend Taiwan's sovereignty, and periodically that part of the world, South China Sea, pops into the news, and you think, wow, that could be a big deal if we actually had a war with China, because every year they get stronger, they now have a bigger economy than ours, and you can kind of reckless American leader destroying American power over Taiwan. But you probably never imagined that the end of American empire would come in a little over 100-day conflict with a little rogue state on the Persian Gulf that has the 34th largest economy in the world, a country called Iran, which generations of Americans have been raised to believe is crazy and dangerous, but basically irrelevant and certainly not civilized, and in no way capable of affecting America's place in the global hierarchy. You just couldn't imagine that would happen. But something like that apparently has happened, and we know because we now have the text of the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding between the United States and Iran, that unless something happens is going to be signed in 2 days, this Friday, in Switzerland by both countries. Now, versions of this have been circulating for the past
Who wants
few
to bet
days.
Switzerland gets bombed by the Egyptians or something? It's not the Egyptians, it's Israel, obviously.
Bluetooth pairing.
There it is.
Bluetooth connected.
Marco Rubio.
Yes!
And tied up defending mainland Israel from the response to that war from Iran. And Israel takes this opportunity to use our money to start a new war to steal land. So, addresses that in the very first paragraph. So while a lot of people in America didn't even notice this was happening, Iran focused on it. And so in order to get everything else that follows in the story, the United States will have
Thing is old as dirt.
restrain
Can't believe it's working.
Israel, pull back from Lebanon, stop killing civilians in Lebanon, and give back the land that you stole while the rest of us were paying attention to the Iran war. Wow. That's a first paragraph. And probably you have to sign this. Paragraph. The United States and the Islamic Republic of Iran undertake to respect each other's sovereignty
Dude,
and territorial integrity.
I did a little bit of LSD one time, and every time I closed my eyes, I couldn't get the colors because I didn't have the colors on hand. I didn't have pink or red or purple or anything, but like the background was like iridescent pinky purple, and the ground that I was standing on had like, it was like the earth, but I could see this like grid everywhere, and there was like this giant grid like pyramid in the air, and I can't remember if it was me or if it was another person was standing there with their arms raised, a female figure. I can't remember if it was me or if it was someone else. Well, standing like this, and the pyramid was like right to the top of their head. It was really wild, and so I painted it the first chance I could. Well, I tried to. I don't know how to fucking paint, or at least I didn't then. I kind of have a better idea now. But I don't like painting as much. Come on, dude. There's like snags in the edges. It's like just catching instead of going in.
That's quite a change. Good. Paragraph 4. Immediately this MOU, the United States of America will begin the removal of its naval blockade and any disturbances or impediments against the Islamic Republic of Iran, and will fully end the naval blockade within 30 days. Retreat. There it is. Pull your troops out. Get your warships out of this area. Stop hassling us. That's not a victory.
What the hell? I keep losing things.
Just a fact, whether you like it or not. And to be clear, this is better than the alternative, not complaining about it, just noting that, wow, this is not unconditional surrender by Iran. Hardly. Paragraph 5. Upon signing this memorandum of understanding, the Islamic Republic of Iran will make arrangements using its best efforts for the safe passage of commercial vessels with no charge for 60 days only from the Persian Gulf to the Sea of Oman and vice versa. In other words, they're going to open the Strait of Hormuz and not charge anybody anything for a month. And at that point, we'll talk. But Iran's going to talk not to the United States, but to the Sultanate of Oman, which would be the country directly across the strait to the south, the oldest monarchy in the world. Iran and Oman will determine the terms on which shipping flows through the strait, because after all, they're the two countries on either side, the north and south sides of the strait, so like it would be up to them. It was not up to the United States, which has effectively controlled the Persian Gulf for your entire life. But not anymore. Now it's up to Iran and Oman and their allies or regional partners, the other 5 GCC countries, maybe Iraq at the western end, who knows? But not the United States. And by the way, not China or Russia either, but the two countries whose territory touches the Strait of Hormuz, they're in charge now. And by in charge, that means in charge of, in effect, the Persian Gulf. Because the overwhelming majority of the commodities, mostly oil and gas, but not just oil and gas, fertilizer, sulfur, the rest, we've heard so much about in the last 100 days, flow through that. And so Iran is now in equal partner with Oman in determining how much it's going to cost the rest of the world to get their commodities out of the Persian Gulf. How much oil producing gas producing nations will pay to get their commodities out of the Persian Gulf.
Dude, where's all my paintings?
Into the future. So that power,
Fuck.
the power to determine who gets their commodities out of the most energy-dense region on the planet, by definition,
Where the hell
makes
did it
you
go?
into a major player.
I know it was here. I saw it.
It's certainly a big deal. You can't dismiss you as a rogue terror state at that point because you control, in effect, the facts. Okay, now.
The fuck?
And it goes on. Paragraph 6. The United States undertakes with its regional partners to develop a definitive, mutually agreed upon plan with at least USD 300 billion for the reconstruction and economic development of the Republic of Iran. Not just the reconstruction, not just rebuild the things that you blew up, but help our economy going forward. Economic development. The U.S. has done a lot of that around the world.
What the
Sacrificed
fuck?
a lot of that around the world, and it has to some extent.
All of my paintings are just
But
missing.
never in
I know
Iran.
they were here.
Since at least 1979, when its proxy, the Shah, got booted, and Iran has been the top enemy in the world ever since. And now the United States will somehow be involved in raising a fund of $300 billion. When this was 2 days ago, most people, including me, assumed that this was disinformation. It was a lie spread by opponents of the agreement as a kind of poison pill of, no way, $300 billion? Isn't that bigger than the entire Iranian economy? Can't remember, but it's in that range anyway. That can't be real. Now, U.S. officials, including the Vice President, have said, well, that's not going to American taxpayers, and that's probably true. That would be very hard to sell. But it's coming from somewhere, and apparently, according to the agreement, the United States will be involved in procuring the money, putting together the fund, who knows? But it says right here, this is part of this. Paragraph 7. The United States of America undertakes to terminate all types of sanctions against the Islamic Republic of Iran, including the UN Security Council resolutions, the IAEA Board of Governors resolutions, and all unilateral sanctions, primary and secondary, in an agreed-upon schedule as part of the following deal. Maybe the most significant and most difficult to achieve point out of 14, ending the sanctions. Now, those sanctions had been in place in another for generations. It crushed the economy of Iran, and they are, as always are.
So this is weird, but that's gone.
What it kills people, kills kids through poverty, through starvation.
So weird.
Always and everywhere. Sanctions make case that people yes, but you can't claim it's anything other than an act of war. But Americans, for generations, have not had to face that reality. And occasionally you'll see some report from some liberal international groups.
Upstairs.
Everyone except liberals in the United States, everyone sort of dutifully ignores it. Sanctions seem like a really easy, low-cost, non-violent way to impose our will on other countries, and we always do them under the pretext of like a moral crusade. You're getting sanctions because you're like Hitler, and if we didn't impose sanctions, we'd be like Chamberlain. And we don't want to be appeasers, we want to be like Churchill, strong and morally clear, we want to be on the right side of history, we're good people, that's why we're sanctioning you. And Americans have, the Congress has used justification to sanction all
Mail
Western
this
countries.
out.
And in no case have those sanctions helped the United States at all. In fact, they've done more than anything else to weaken the U.S. dollar. Long term, they will impoverish the United States, those sanctions. There's no question about that. That's been acknowledged for a long time. But they've continued because no one has really pushed back because no one could. And now Iran apparently has successfully, and if it happens, it'll be the first time at the scale that it's ever happened, has pushed the U.S. to roll back those sanctions. Now, there is, a long distance between putting that in paragraph 7 of the MOU, which is not even signed yet, and actually happening. Apparently, it's going to have to go through the Congress. Will that work? Hard to know. Hard to believe.
Now, at least.
The fact that it's even up for discussion, and that the current administration is eager to agree with it, tells you that this is the biggest change diplomatically, well, in memory, at least. It's incredible that they actually wrote this down. Paragraph 8. Paragraph 14. The Iraq Republic nuclear weapons, France has nuclear weapons, Pakistan does, I mean, everyone wants news. Or else they get treated like this.
Ah, you motherfucker! Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Or Ted Cruz standing up.
Fuck me, dude.
So we treat them with respect, despite the fact the leader is very short. We treat them with respect. And they knew. So the
Fucking hurts.
nuclear weapons is overwhelming, and all things being equal, countries that can
Fucking got me again. That fucking tripod is so fucking heavy. I literally have like a fucking bruise. You can see it all right here. It fucking gave me a mild concussion. Like, I'm not even kidding, because it hit me right on my I've already got like a blood clot behind my eye back here, and because I've been hit in the head so many times right here on this fucking eye. So whatever happened, it gave me a mild concussion. And now it just fucking clobbered me right here. Fuck you, tripod, you scum bitch. I hate getting hit suddenly and unexpectedly. I fucking hate getting hurt. Ugh! I hate getting hurt. So fucking stupid. Dumbest shit on the fucking planet. Just like, here, how about this?
So subject are they to all these sanctions? That
I'm not sure if you heard me. Good job!
companies can do business with them, and they can export their oil, and they're not going to have to put it into unmarked tankers and pretend it came from somewhere else.
I wish there were like nails in the wall already.
That again connects to the other paragraphs in one way. It treats Iran
I'm having right now
like a
my
global
own.
power, like a sovereign adult nation, not like a rogue terror state. Just the opposite. It treats Iran with respect. It treats Iran like a nation to be reckoned with.
I really don't know where my fucking paintings went, and that's stressing me out.
Incredible.
I have a bunch of canvases and a bunch of paintings, and like it was in a
We'll stop after this.
like a milk crate type thing,
Undertakes to make freely available
and it had
use the frozen
all of them stacked up. And I know that I grabbed it because I came in here to put something in the bin, so I know it was here.
So there are many billions of dollars that belong to Iran
And
that
that makes
have
it even
been
more
frozen
frustrating.
in some cases since 1979 in banks around the world. And Iran has
Oh yeah, I found this apron. I forgot I had it, so I'm gonna use this when I
point during
carve rugs from now on.
Iran wanted its money
How about
back.
that?
In some cases they never got it. Just ignored its promise to return the money. But it's Iran's money.
Keep my clothes
They think
clean.
about it quite a bit. It's not a rich country, number 34 on the GDP list, as noted, and they want their money back. And within Iran, this is considered a really significant question. And it's also, of
So
course,
weird that
a
all my
matter of
shit
national
is just
pride.
missing.
Their money, why can't they have it? Well, because it's in US dollars, that's why. So with this, they will be getting their money back. So there's kind of no lying about this. This is maybe good for the United States.
Goes in the
Long
living
term,
room.
you can certainly argue that.
Camera, I'm gonna put that in the office.
Phrase that it will be. It'll be better than what we have now, that's for sure. But it is impossible. From this text, assuming this is real, we think that it is absolutely impossible to say this isn't any
They're
sense of win for the
making-
United States because it's not. This is a pretty humiliating loss for the United States. As an American, certainly not worried about that at all. This is a loss. This is, by the way, the reason we wouldn't want to start this war in the first place, because it could only end as it has ended. And the people, by the way, who pushed to start this, notably the Israelis and their unregistered agents in the United States,
I really hope I know where the cord is.
diminishing the States and reducing its footprint and power and influence in the Middle East was part of the plan. Of course, you can't really be in control of your region if taking orders from a foreign power, like the US, the US, and the Israelis wanted us out of the Gulf. They wanted the destruction of our bases in the Gulf, and they got it. But what they didn't want, what they definitely didn't want, was a resolution in which the United States, their patron, their only remaining ally on the planet, admitted out loud that, hey,
Oh, the sewing
actually,
machine's right there.
Iran is a real country that will have a seat at the table going forward. It's an ancient civilization. You can't eliminate it. We just tried. Didn't work. And henceforth, we're going to treat them as not just a real place, but a steward of the most economically significant waterway on the planet. So with this, no matter what happens, even if this is not signed on Friday, with this, the United States has officially acknowledged that Iran is a player. And that changes everything. In the same way that the 1956 Suez crisis, another crisis, another war, another narrow waterway through a country in 1918 at the end of the First World War. You could definitely argue that it was done by World War II. Involved, and Britain had ruled the world, and so
If I ruled the world,
not dead, but in the space of a very
free
short
all
period of
my
time, that
sons.
really complex crisis. Why?
Like
Because in
diamonds
the Suez
shine.
crisis of 1956, Britain made it really clear that what they said they wanted, they couldn't actually affect the outcome. They didn't have the power to settle things the way they wanted. The U.S. did. And so America, maybe not formally, but certainly practically, took Britain's place as the ruler of the Middle East. With this, the United States has shown that it's not half, despite possessing the world's best or biggest or certainly most generously funded military, does not have the military power to impose its will on the 34th biggest economy in the world. That is not a lesson that we're going to take decades to come to. That is an extremely obvious conclusion. In fact, that is the obvious conclusion of this conflict. Again, for good or bad, and there's something poignant about it, there's something sad about it, there's something also bitter about it, considering it was predictable. This is why people oppose a regime.
There's an owl that lives right outside
This is always going to happen.
of my
Because
garage.
the question of
Yay, there's my watch charger.
military might, its nuclear programs, ballistic missiles, was always secondary to what really mattered about Iran, which was its geography.
Yay, there's the charger to the vacuum.
It could close the strait with miles, it's not that hard. And because of where it sits on the globe, Iran was, and now is universally acknowledged, as a powerful nation, as a real player. And it never will be so long. And this makes it official. So how did we get here? We didn't get here because anyone in the administration decided, hey, let's sign a deal that our last remaining political allies, the neocons, hate. They have every reason to hate us, for sure. Which then will not embrace necessarily. To be honest about what's happened. They're upset for good reason. The administration didn't do this to end its last remaining pocket supporters. No, it did this because we have a choice. And the two things we need to understand about the American negotiating position right now are these. One, we're running out of weapons. The United States has expended about half of all of its existing missile capacity in 7 weeks. Half of its THAAD interceptors gone. So, at a certain point, you can have whatever intention you want, but if you can't defend yourself against ballistic missiles or even drone attacks, and you can't defend your allies in the region from those attacks, you can't continue. We have reached the limit of our industrial capacity. The United States actually can't defend itself as of right now. In a major conflict, we're assuming this is a less than major conflict, it is Iran. It's not China. It's not Russia. It is going to be unable to defend itself despite having a $1.5 billion a year Pentagon budget because it doesn't.
There's my new goddamn toothbrushes. Looking everywhere for.
So we are very vulnerable at this moment. And if every passing day becomes more vulnerable. And that's the first thing to know. The second thing to know is that
Okay,
gas
I'll go through
prices
that later.
are
I'm gonna
$6
take a break.
for 93 octane in a lot of places, more than that for non-ethanol.
Got a lot done.
The privilege of using non-ethanol gasoline doesn't wreck your motor. Higher than that. Petroleum Reserve. And the U.S. government draws down on that in order to keep prices from going crazy, from spiking, because that's politically scary. And by the way, it's real. It's an economic factor if you spur real inflation. Our Strategic Petroleum Reserve is at its lowest point since 1983. 43 years, right now. So we are running out of oil, and we're running out of weapons.
Do you hear that? Our petroleum is at the lowest it's been
Sort of, broadside artillery between
in a
aircraft
really long
carriers.
time.
They destroyed their Navy and their Air Force, which most people didn't know existed. It doesn't matter. Because the kind of conflict that's taking place is asymmetrical, and we have reached the limit of our ability to fight it, short of using weapons of mass destruction against Iran, which no normal person wants. Many people on television want, but no normal person wants that, not just because it's the most immoral thing you could do, but because the downstream consequences are unimaginable. So we actually don't have a choice. The Trump administration boxed in, we lost in a meaningful way, and this is probably, while not great for the United States, in fact, devastating in some ways, less bad, less devastating than what would happen if we continue. And it's very clear that the Trump administration has understood this for a long time, for decades, at the beginning of the war, back in February. Why? Because, as is now widely understood, the administration, the president, believed Israeli estimates about Iran's nuclear program, its strength, and critically, how it would respond to the application of its leadership class. The Ayatollah killed off top 150 guys in charge of running the government and the military, and the place will collapse and something good will happen. That was the pitch. For us, they are not stupid and thought this through and created a system.
Did you get all moved out of the bus?
Yes. No, I mean, I have still stuff in the bus that I have to go and like deal with, but for the most part, I got the entire U-Haul was filled, so got as much as I could.
Regime change on the cheap. Regime change would require a land invasion of Iraq, and there's no stomach for that in the United States. There's never been majority support for any kind of war with Iran, any kind of war with Iran in the United States. And probably if you cared about the promise of democracy, that would be a stumbling block for you, but the advocates of this don't care at all what the public thinks, whether their children die, not of interest to them. In any case, the Trump administration knew very early that this was not going to produce the easy win that the Israelis had promised. And there's a lot of evidence that the president was angry about that. Now, we spent the last 100 or so days listening to him try to posture his way out of it, threaten the Iranians into submission. It didn't work. But underneath it all, it's very obvious that the president, whose decision this was, by the way, and it's unfair to pass the buck to Netanyahu. He's not the president of the United States, but it's very clear that the U.S. president blamed Netanyahu for misleading him, and that's why, it was so very obvious in retrospect, he sent the Secretary of State out within days to say publicly in a stairwell in the U.S. Congress that we followed Israel into this war. Trump blamed Netanyahu early, and he continues to. So what's the response from the people who pushed this war, including the ones who called Trump personally on the phone, and there are many of them, who called him on the phone or who used their purchase on Fox News to convince him to do this? What's their response to this settlement? Well, it's completely hysterical, but it's also revealing of their motives and of their wisdom. So here's just one among many examples from Fox News. This is from 2 days ago. This was before we got the actual text of the MOU.
Shit, I forgot to go get fucking dish soap and stuff.
Viewpoints were being shared by text, and it wasn't clear how many were real, but it was pretty clear this was not a triumphant victory, and it was even more clear that the current Iranian regime would remain in place by the end of it. Here's the response from a Fox News contributor to the deal. Watch.
This deal and everything that we know about it, to the degree that it is being spun in public by this, and behind the scenes by the administration, everything about this deal seems bad. It all seems bad. It all seems like a setback. It doesn't seem like it meets any of the measures that the president actually put out there of his goals when it came to this conflict. And look, at some point, this Republican Party needs to decide which kind of foreign policy it's going to have. Is it going to be in America for foreign policy, one that is bold, that uses American power in key moments decisively in order to affect what it wants to achieve? Or are we going to just backslide into being some kind of hillbilly Obama kind of GOP? That is not something that is acceptable to me. It should not be acceptable to Republicans, and it should not be acceptable to any conservative
So
who
if we don't
who
want to
is
blow people up,
interested
that
in
means
the
we're
success of
hillbillies?
America going forward.
It's amazing to see that if you're one of the overwhelming majority of Americans who no longer pays for a cable package and they're sort of wondering, why are leaders doing these things? Because they're watching stuff like that and they take it seriously. So you put someone on television who has no knowledge whatsoever of the region, hasn't been there, doesn't understand it, is taking almost all of his understanding of it from Fox News. You have the snake eating its tail. It's a guy who's believing the lies that he's ingesting and then coming to certain conclusions on the basis of them. So it's like someone who's no authority to weigh in on this is telling you his best view of it. So there's that. It's childish. But then there's the deeper question of, okay, you don't like the deal. What's the option? What does victory look like? The president articulated it pretty clearly. He wanted regime change. He wanted new people running Iran. He wanted an end to support for the proxies, the terror proxies, Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthis. Okay. He wanted Iran to stop producing, apparently, ballistic
Thought I
missiles.
left it out
stop-
here so that I could
just
use
have
it.
national defense. Okay. And he wanted, famously, total abject surrender. He wanted Iran to get on its back, all four paws in the air, and say, do with me what you will. Well, none of those, and that analyst is correct in noting, none of those goals have been achieved. The question is, how would you achieve them? So
Oh yeah,
the United
Fred
States
making
admitted
stuff
that
down here.
we did not get what we thought we would get or wanted to get. Some of us never thought we'd get that, but no, they promised us. So what's the bold, decisive action that we're not using to get us those things? Oh, wait. And of course, there's no answer. There's no answer. Half our THAAD batteries and Patriots have been expended in 7 weeks. Kind of gave it our best shot. What would you do if you were the president? Attack Carg Island? And that's going to do what? I mean, there are no options, is the truth. But no one advocating for this will admit that, because if they admit that, then they have to concede that the real deal has nothing to do with what the President of the United States
I'm gonna take a rest. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's take a break. Yes, I am. Look how pretty the house is, too. This makes me very happy to look at. Just the fireplace, the plants, the chair. Just, it's real. It's finally here.
The real goal is destruction for its own sake.
So happy.
Any potential.
All right, I'm gonna go take a nap or something. I don't know. Eat some food, relax.
The tribal ethnic conflict in his own country that he has no ability to resist your territory.